Radical.
So I just had an eye-opening experience. I went to a car audio shop, a professional car audio shop, because I've been having all kind of issues with my SoundStream amplifier. My connections, solid. Everything, perfect. Ground, power, everything, solid. But what would happen is, every single time when I would hook up the amplifier, the power wire, it would come on, I would turn up a song, and it would cut out. And also I noticed, when I had it playing, even at low volume, my car just seemed to not like it that much. But I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, maybe there's a bad connection somewhere to the battery. You know, I just couldn't put two and two together. But this guy came out, and he looked at my SoundStream amplifier. He looked it up online, and I tried to tell him, hey, you know what? It just says 4,000 watts. It's not actually 4,000 watts. You know, because they always overrate these amplifiers. I thought, well, maximum maybe it's 2,000 watts. He looked at me and his eyes got real big and he said, no, that's really 4,000 watts. It's like a 200 different amp draw, like lots of different blade fuses on there. And then it dawns on me, there's no way my stock charging system in a Chevy Impala is going to accommodate that. He even quotes me, I think, a really high figure to install that because he didn't really want to do it. $400. $400. I was like, come again? Say what? I cleaned out my ear and I was like, $400? That's more than I paid for the amplifier and the wiring and all that. So yeah, I think he just kind of wanted to scare me away from getting it installed, or maybe he thought to himself, maybe I mean, talk about overcharging, motherfucker. $400 to hook up an amplifier. And yeah, so we talked for a while, and I told him I have another amplifier that I just bought that I was going to use in a different install, or you know, something, I don't know. It's something I might do a show off Saturday on later tonight, so I don't want to spoil that. But he says this other amplifier, it's probably what, 600 RMS? And I was like, yeah, give or take, probably. He said that would probably work. So I just have to deal with the reality that my stock charging system in the Impala is not enough to really accommodate probably more than 1,000 watts maximum. And also that SoundStream was a Class AB amplifier. I don't think it's a Class D, because it's a big-ass motherfucking amp. Class D amps are really small, and this amplifier that I got that I might actually run with is a really small amplifier. I mean, like, it's tiny. So the positives is it would not take up that much room in the trunk, and I can pull my subwoofers closer to the forward. So there's positives. It's just not a, you know, I'm really particular about my name brands. I like Kicker. I like Pioneer. I like, you know, Alpine. And SoundStream, the only reason I really got that amplifier, to be honest, was mostly the lighting and the looks and how the color matched my vehicle's paint. So yeah, I'm basically stuck with a SoundStream amplifier that maybe somebody that has an upgraded charging system, I'm sure I'll find somebody that might want to buy it. It's a really great amplifier, but I don't really want to risk a lot of damage to my charging system, alternator, battery, all that good stuff by running that system. But yeah, what do you think? That's crazy, right? You go to get an amp installed and you're thinking, well, you know, 70, 80 bucks. I had lots of wiring. Okay, and here's another thing I'll bring up, right? You ever go somewhere to get something done, maybe on your car, or could be something else, and you realize you're going there and you have a lot more knowledge in many ways than the people actually working there. For instance, he tried to tell me on that amplifier he would have to basically get all kind of different gauge wire to match up with that. Even though I had like 4 gauge. 4 gauge has really always worked great for me. You know, but he tried to say that he would need a different gauge wiring, which I think was a bunch of bullshit, I think. 4 gauge, I mean, unless you're running like 10,000 watts, I don't know. Like every system I've had before, I've always ran 4-gauge. And he tried to tell me all these different things. And this was the kicker, right? This was the kicker. No pun intended. I'm running kicker subwoofers, by the way. I wanted a simple thing with this install. I wanted one simple thing. And I said, listen, okay, don't try to tell me that you're going to try to hook this up to my fuse box. I did not want a power wire for a car amplifier, which draws a lot of current, connected to my fuse box. Okay, common sense says you put that shit to your battery terminal. Okay, that is the source where you want all that stuff going. Unless you have like a really tiny, small amplifier, or I don't know, like, but any class of amplifier to run subwoofers, you always put that on the battery post. Well, my Impala's battery post is not like a claw design. It's kind of a weird kind of design. And he looked at it and he said, I'm probably going to have to put that to the fuse box. I'm like, fuck, you're not. No. I said, if I'm going to actually pay you this money to install this, I will provide a battery post. I showed him a picture. They make them. I mean, Duralast makes them. You get them in AutoZone. It basically just goes onto your positive post, and 4-gauge, 2-gauge, you get Allen wrench screws and you screw down the screws on there. I've always used them, but he looked at it and he says, I don't really know if that's going to work with this battery post. I'm like, is it a fused inline? Is there fuses running? And he says no. Is it just a power wire? Then you could just cut the power wire, crimp it, put it in there. Like, a kid could probably do that shit, right? So I get just a little frustrated. I am thankful that he told me what I kind of probably needed to hear, which was that's far too much current, because I wanted to make it work. You gotta understand, I love that amplifier. I loved it. I mostly loved the lighting, okay? But also, I wanted to make that work so bad. And you saw the Christmas lights video. I was so happy, but sometimes things are not to be. Or, you know what I could probably do? I just go ahead and get an aftermarket light, and whatever amplifier I choose to go with, I'll put a light on it, and I can make it come on maybe like a LED strip, But that's my day. That's what I'm going through today. I know a lot of you don't really have a lot of interest in car audio, but that's my passion, baby. That's my passion, and I'll be really excited when I get this thing sounding great. Have a great day, everybody.